I always forget to have that last puff of the smoky pen before we start. Hello and welcome along to the Rangers podcast live match reaction at Rangers Ross County. I nearly forgot who we were playing there. Ross County. Before we come to the game, hello, I'm Martin, and joining me today is, for some reason, wearing a hat, Jamie Duff. Jamie, why are you wearing a hat, mate?
It's because I need a haircut, mate. So hat's on. I look like I've only got hair on the sides, so hair. It's hat.
Well, it's good to see you, mate. How are you?
We lost two folk there.
Also joining me is Kerr, who has the strength within himself not to wear a hat on that ridiculous head. Kerr, how are you?
I'm all right. My hair looks like a tennis ball, but that's fine.
Just so very, very quickly, Dale, hello from Los Angeles. Dale, how are you, my friend? The gallant pioneer, Evening Bears. I'm trying to find another couple of evenings. We don't have any. Why is nobody saying hello, good evening? Aldo McNaught, smash that like button.
Yes,
Aldo, every week in the comments. Honestly, we should make him the Rangers Rabble Commission.
Martin, did you ever give a shout out to the person from was it Thailand or Hong Kong or something?
Jim Hong Kong, I did indeed, yes.
I must have missed
the Hong Kong Rangers Supporters Club, who says that they must all obviously do it in a big hall because it doesn't come through with the numbers, but he said that they're a big fan of the podcast and they watch. So yeah, big hello to everybody in the Hong Kong Rangers Supporters Club. Thank you for tuning in. We are live on YouTube, so please do, if you haven't already, subscribe. And as I say every week, because it's so important, even if you don't like it, right? See if you're watching this going, they're talking absolute pants and they know nothing about football. Hit the like button anyway. You know what I mean? Just hit the like button. Get your finger too fake. Hit that like button. Linda Ross, good evening, guys. Foldsy, hi, lads, good evening. I'm really disappointed in CGM. I was expecting a wee good evening, but
good evening.
Obviously not. Quite a few things to get through, actually. It's not just kind of the live match reaction today, Jamie. It was, of course, Remembrance Sunday. Yep. And as ever, Rangers, with complete respect, knocked it out of the park.
Very respectful. Beautiful. What do you call those? Tifo? Yeah, lovely, man. So it's the way it should be, regardless of your political views, to remember and respect people that kept our country the way it is. Regardless, you're going back to the 40s here, right? So what the people done back then. So that's where I show my respect for.
Yeah. And Kerr, look, it's every year. And Curry Muncher's put in, look, display was outstanding. It's something that I'm proud of for our club, that we show the utmost respect to the people who fought for our freedoms.
It is, and that's what it's all about. We all know some there have family. It's being in the armed forces, so just showing respect for these people because they put their life in line when they go to different countries. So it's total respect, and people that's lost their lives in war as well. A lot of these people give us the freedom we live just now. So 2 minutes respect. It's well due. So it's class we Rangers do, but the armed forces enjoy coming to Ibrox because we put in such a good time for them, and it's fantastic to see.
Aye, Foldsy, look, nothing but class from the club and fans today, proud to be part of it. Jamie, unfortunately, there is a section of support in this country who I don't know if they're just not smart enough to understand what it's all about, but decide to protest against this, remembering our brave soldiers who fought in great wars to protect us. And it's really embarrassing for Scotland.
It is, but do you know what? They've got their own political, historical views, so they've got their reasons for that. Don't agree with it.
It's just embarrassing, Kerr, because it's not about your political view. This is about respecting people who, younger than us, were called to fight in a war to try and give us our freedoms. It's not about what political view, what political party you support. It's got nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with politics at all.
Nothing.
It's to do with remembering people who died in various wars all over the world protecting freedom of others. And it's not just us that do it. Canada do it as well. Other countries do it for their armed forces. All around the country, people stand at attention So for certain people not to do it, if that's the way the opinions are and the beliefs are, there's not a lot we can do about it. But they shouldn't stop us believing, because I'll always believe in it. My granddad was in it. My friends have been in the army, so these guys I respect.
Aye, exactly. And we'll always show respect and gratitude and thanks to everybody who's part of the armed forces. And just a big thank you for everybody at the Rangers Rabble for everything they do. Absolutely.
Well done.
And to that other lot, stop embarrassing the country, will you? And grow a brain. Also today, Kerr, before we come on to the Rangers game, the women's team get a very, very respectable win away at Celtic to put them 5 points ahead in the league. And it was a 1-0 victory courtesy of a Jane Ross goal, which is great to see.
I didn't see the game because I was at Ibrox, but I heard that they won 1-0, which is very good to see the women's team winning, especially as a result against Celtic, but especially putting on 5 points clear at the top of the league. And they've been doing well this season by all accounts. I've only watched 1 or 2 of the games, but they've been doing well, and the crowds are going up when they're playing. So it's really good to see, because it doesn't matter who is it's playing football, women, men, kids. If they're playing with Rangers, they're playing with anybody, I love to watch them.
They're under that umbrella of Rangers as well, Jamie. And Malky Thompson, the manager, I think last season has come under quite a lot of stick because Rangers have invested a lot in their ladies' team. And he fell short last season. I think they get beat off of Celtic in the Cup a few weeks ago. So he bounced back with a win away from home. Brilliant.
That is, you just took my thunder. That's what I was going to say. They were under a bit of pressure after last season, what they invested in it. It's probably it's an investment, right, for Rangers. So they might see something at the other end there. I've just seen the goal there. They dispossess the ball in the middle. Great through ball. Dinks the keeper. What's the goalie doing, Tam? But dinks the keeper beautifully, man. So if anybody's got go and check that goal. It was a cracking finish.
Jane Ross is a good player enough. She's played at Man United. She played with Scotland, so she's been about and she's got a lot of quality.
Aye, absolutely brilliant. So long may that continue. 5 points clear at the top of the league. The Rangers men's team care 4 points clear at the top of the league and into the international break after a 4-2 win over Ross County. I think there would have been a lot of surprise though at the starting lineup.
Yeah, I think you can't predict Steven Gerrard's starting lineup these days, can you? We try, but I don't think anyone's ever get it right. He always seems to throw in 1 or 2 you don't expect. We played okay in spells. Other times we sat off. The game get very slow. Ross County came, and give them credit, they didn't come to sit back and defend. They came and tried to attack us, because after you've been watching Rangers last week, we always concede first, which we did again today. But credit to them, they came and had a go. We showed our quality in the end with some of the goals we scored, but some of the play could have been better. Yeah,
it could have been. Jamie, Borna Barisic again, not on the starting lineup or on the bench, and I haven't heard about an injury. So if it is an injury, then forget what we're talking about right now. But if it's not, that's not a great sign for Borna, is it?
It isn't. It's something we spoke about. We said it the other day. He came out for the cold after 2 weeks of not even being featured on the bench. He doesn't seem to be featured as a substitute anymore. I think because the numbers are shorter, so he's going to be Patterson. Really, is your only defensive substitute when Bassey's on the park, because he just knows he'll shift Bass into the centre half if anything happens to Balogun or Coulson. So Barisic isn't in there. So for me, I know we bigged him up massively, but I know Carol Com's a confidence player, and maybe this doesn't help his confidence, but there's players that have been playing perhaps that needed a bit of time out to maybe try and elevate themselves or give themselves a kick up the arse. So yeah, I thought Bassey played really well today, to be fair, and I know Kerr's not a massive fan, but you can't deny that he played well.
We'll come on to Bassey, Kerr, because I like to rub it in people's faces when they get it wrong, because you do it enough to me. But
I'm not got it wrong. I just said he's not. I just think he was good enough.
He's not for you, Kerr, is he?
He's starting to show he's a decent left back. Which if he continues that way, then I'll apologise and change my mind. But that's just the way football is.
Kerr, you must know something. He must know some apologies.
By the way, Kerr's never apologised for a thing in his life, and he's always wrong. But Kerr, on Barisic, Kerr, is it just a case of giving him some extra rest, or do you think there is maybe possibly an issue where Gerrard maybe losing a bit of trust in him?
I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe deeper than that. I don't know if he maybe can a long-term injury we don't know about. I don't know if it's something away from the park. are just basically totally lack of confidence in his performances, and Gerrard's told him to maybe go and rest for a couple of weeks, get his mind back in the game. You don't know what's going on, or maybe his agents told him about someone coming up and Jack. We don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's going to play with Croatia. Is in there. I don't even know if he's in their squad. Is he?
Apparently so.
Is he?
Yeah.
So we'll see what he does in international week. Maybe that gets some confidence back. It was a rumour that getting back wasn't it with the Croatia manager telling him he needs to move for Rangers. So I don't know if that's affected him either. But in the performances he's played, if Borna plays well, he has a far better player than Bassey. We all know that. But when Borna doesn't play well, sometimes you're like a man missing. Whereas Bassey will give you the energy. He'll give you the running up and down the park. Granted, he's not getting the same quality, but he doesn't really hide. But Boris Borna does at times because he is lacking in confidence. So I don't know what the issue is. I hope the manager can fix it out. If not, then Bassey stays in the team.
When Borna's known for him, he's actually worse than a man down. If that's even possible. But look, we start the game, Jamie, and the mantra for this game was do not concede the first goal. We're playing at home against Ross County. Let's go on the front foot, and we concede the first goal.
Well, I didn't see the first goal because I was on the phone to you. So I missed the first goal. So I'd watched it back, but it's not about being negative, man. I know there's a lot of criers out there that won't be negative and let the game run, which is right, but I think you've got every right to call out or be negative when we keep conceding goals early doors. It's going to come back and bite us in the arse. There's a big game coming up, and I'm trying to say there's a big game coming up, turn of the year, against a team who are flying in the first 10 minutes of a game. We're the opposite, so we need to turn it around before that and get a couple of games under our belts where this doesn't happen. But I said it as well, we've watched a lot of Ross County because of the best of the rest we do on Patreon, and the boy Hungbo's one that we've called out the last couple of weeks, and his pace is electric, and they play the ball through and they're in. It's one of the borderline ones where he's no. It's probably you don't want that given his offside in the game of football so close. So they're 1-0 up right away again, man. Like we need to sort that out. We need to sort that out. I don't care with 1-4-2. That's something we need to chat about and sort out, man.
Well, it sort of came, Kerr. It was a poor pass by Hadji. Maybe Lundstrom no switched on, and then a straight pass down the side of Balogun, and it's a decent finish. Possibly a slight maybe offside call, but I don't mind. I've got to put my hands up because you've got to be fair. When it's that tight, you don't have VAR. You've just got to accept that you can't get the ones right. But it was very, very simple for Ross County.
It was simple, but we were on cause of a game and getting a ball away and not getting it back. But it was just a simple through ball. It got the boy. I don't know if it was offside or not. I was in the room alone, so I can't see the lines. But everybody around about me shouting it's offside, but I don't know why, because we can't see if it's offside or not. I agree with you. If it's close, then give the striker the advantage. He finished it well, I have to say, but it wasn't the only time in the match we put a ball through the middle, and it's caused us issues. And other teams have done it as well, and that's what we have to stop happening. We're not winning the second balls and we're not stopping the through balls. It's just simple football is beating us, and bad errors with our own players.
Aye, let the gallant pioneer play to the whistle anyway. Of course you do. And Aldo not. I think if we had VAR, it would still have been given. I think Goldson shoulder keeps him on.
See all that as well. See that VAR shoulders not. Why don't they just revert to it being feet on the grass? Take it off the person's feet. I know you can score with your shoulder, but what sort of advantage are you getting by leaning forward and leaning backwards? Just go with your feet. It simplifies it so much. They're overcomplicating it. And
they don't like simple fit. Jamie, like it,
we don't need anything more complicated. We've already got too much complexity in our game.
I don't think it should win the Scottish football. It caused you any hassle, especially an Old Firm game, but that's just my opinion.
I know, but we need to get over all that, and we need to move with the times, and we need to get away from this. It's going to cause too much hassle when it comes to an Old Firm game. We need to move away from this Stone Age hatred and try and develop our football. It does my nutting, Jamie.
Stone Age. That's a big comment, man. Stone Age hatred, and I get it. You scroll on Twitter. I seen a couple of things. I seen a couple of things on Twitter today, man. Like there is still hatred out there. I like it in the footballing sense, Martin.
Aye, if it's a footballing sense,
I hate them. But if you're talking about the other side of it, I don't care about that anymore, and I don't bother about that. But I know it's still out there. But when it comes to the footballing sense, there's nothing better than a blood-boiling Old Firm game, man. I want to see a few red cards and a fight in the park and all that.
No, listen, that's brilliant. But Kieran, my point is, I'm fed up every time we get a penalty or they get a penalty or there's a last-minute goal or somebody gets sent off. See this weeks and weeks and weeks, and the papers are probably the worst people out there.
Just keep it going.
Keep this going and keep this going and drive up this hatred. Honestly, mate, it's tiring me out.
Still, I just don't watch Celtic. I only watch them for best of the rest now. But before that, I didn't even pay attention to them. To be honest with you, it doesn't bother me if they get penalties. It should be the same as it's a part of football. And I know you were saying about VAR. VAR will probably come. If the clubs want it, it will come. But as we've seen in England and other countries, VAR doesn't always mean it's 100% correct either, because there's been decisions overturned which has been everybody's still scratching their head saying that's not right. So it doesn't curb mistakes, but the hatred is always going to be with Rangers and Celtic, especially in the west of Scotland. I mean, you speak to people other parts of Scotland or England or wherever, and they can't understand it. But in the west of Scotland, it's something you're brought up with, I grew up with. It's just ingrained in you, and it depends how you take it on later in life. You're going to keep that as your life. You're just going to make it football. When the football's not there, it's not part of your life. Some people live it 24/7.
Yeah.
Myself, it's football, and then after the football's done, there's no hatred anymore. I mean, Celtic fans and family, friends have a bit of banter, but the hatred shouldn't be there for that. But at football times, I'm like Jamie, I don't like them. But once the final whistle's finished, then it's just gone my life. There's more important things in life than
You know, I'm not going to live down that Stone Age hatred comment, am I? I don't know. Stone Age Martin haircut. There you go. I was waiting on it.
Yeah, but do it.
That's like one of the Neanderthals, man, didn't he?
I don't know how we've managed to go into a VAR debate, right? Because we still get the game to come to. But the gallant pioneer, Jamie's put up, like Estonia and Moldova have VAR.
Estonia and Moldova they don't have Rangers
one at a time. At a time.
That's if the clubs in the FA, wherever they're over there, are willing to pay for it. I don't know if the clubs here are willing to pay for it. I know Rangers and Celtic probably have the money, but with the rest of them?
Listen, a lot of these clubs are. There's this thing about Rangers getting more decisions than anybody else, right? And it's a lot of shite, because if you look back, I seen one of the other days, Celtic haven't conceded a penalty at home since 2020 or some random, right? So it goes against the narrative. Bringing VAR in could sort that and clear up the narrative, and that because they use that as some sort of thing to discredit any sort of success we are going to have going forward. So maybe VAR sorts that out for us. But
do you think if they bring in VAR, then the referees will use it more, just take the pressure off them? Especially Rangers and Celtic games.
Oh, aye.
The issue for me, genuinely,
like game of rugby.
Football, the issue for me, Kerr, the referees, and I don't like to pile on to refs, right? Not for 1 second, and I think I've mentioned this before. I don't think any of them are biased. I genuinely don't. I just think they're very, very poor.
It's a hard job, Martin. I want to do it because it doesn't matter what decision you make. I mean, I used to coach my son's team a few years ago, and it didn't matter what decision you make. He's a boys' club coach. You don't know half the parents don't agree with you. So being a football referee, it's exactly the same. Doesn't matter what decision you make, half the crowd is going to disagree with you. So it's a very hard job. But in the day, without them, there's no football. And they only see it's been run about a part with players. It's very hard to see things in real time, so they need other help. And VAR does that, but VAR to me is used in far too many decisions. It should only be used in maybe goal line stuff and stuff like that. It shouldn't be used in everything. You can't bring the play back 3 minutes and then chop off a goal. That doesn't do nothing for me. If it's a goal, if it's not a goal, end of story.
I've just seen a brilliant comment for Curry Muncher. VAR will not change it, as they will just say it's been used at the Loudon. That's brilliant.
That's the problem. It will get that deep where, Bobby Madden's on the VAR. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't solve that issue.
No. Right, should we talk about the game then?
Please, man.
Let's talk about the game. Even before that goal, the first goal, Jamie, and obviously after it, I thought we were playing well. We looked okay.
I thought we played well. I thought we played well again. It's just the scoreline. Some folk will pull negatives out of the scoreline. We conceded 2 goals, but I thought we started well, apart from the goal. But I thought Bassey played well. I know that they scored 2, but I thought Goldson looked a wee bit back to his more commanding self at some points in the first and second half as well. Bacuna looked like he had I'm probably lying to myself here, but I thought Bacuna was... I commented on your post at half-time saying, I'm not seeing that. And as soon as he scored, I deleted it and said, wow, promising player, man, if he gets some time, right? I didn't think he started that well. I didn't think he started that well, but there was flashes of him doing a good wee thing. What I would like to see with Bacuna, see that tackle went flying into, winning the ball back, recycling it. I want to see that first and foremost and more of before he tries to nutmeg somebody and do the smart stuff. Do the basics for me first. I thought he'll get carried away. We've seen a game where we're hammering somebody. I can see Bacuna getting carried away, trying to be a smart ass when Rangers are all about keeping it simple.
See, I like that, Kerr. I'm not going to lie. I like that. See that, taking responsibility for himself. No scared to try a wee bit of skill, make that pass. I like that.
It's good, but at times we've got Hadji, we've got Aribo, and we've got Bacuna trying to do the same thing. So all want to go forward, making the pass maybe they don't expect. As soon as that happens, we're on our back. We're back the way to get the back, and we've only really got Lundstram in there. I thought at times he was covering quite a lot of ground middle of the park because the midfielders weren't really covering back. Bacuna, Hadji, Aribo, depends who was playing there. We played well in spells, I have to say. Ryan came when he started, he was on fire. He was really up for the game, and you can see what you've missed. He did look shattered before he went off the park right enough, but you understand that because he's not played for a while. But we look good, especially when we play with a tempo. We look really good. When we play with a tempo, there's not a lot of teams that can touch us. But it's when we sit back and then we just start recycling the ball and passing it slow and moving it slow. We let teams get set. That's when we don't look good. And that's the fear Rangers. We scored the 4 goals and the game died. The game pettered out. No, and it's like, I know they get one back, which I miss, but when you're up 4-1, you set yourself right. We want 5 here, we want 6. And it's not any disrespect to Ross County, but more goals breed confidence. And if you get more goals, then the players get more confidence. But I thought we just took a foot right off the gas at that point. And the goals we scored are really good goals. But and I agree with Jamie. I thought Goldston actually done all right today. But I know we conceded 2, but I actually thought he'd done all right. I thought he was a bit commanding. He was ordering, shouting instructions and stuff. We were good in spells. We need to see more longer spells through a match because we look good and then we score, we can ease off the gas.
Well, look, Linda Ross, I like Bacuna. Gallant pioneer again. Janino Bacuna, the name sounds like some sort of Brazilian superstar, if only. Cubby Cubster, I like Bacuna, needs more game time, hit a screamer for the goal. And CGM, and this is a very good point, Jamie, I think Bacuna will get us a few goals from midfield, which is what we've been crying out for, and he proved that today.
Having a shot, you can tell he's a confident boy. Maybe he just needs time to settle in, bed his settle in. But I know I'm saying he was all right the first half for me, but his goal's an absolute cracker, and you can just tell he's got a bit of confidence about him. And I know we were kind of saying previously, he's played with Huddersfield, never really got a game, and maybe his attitude's a bit off. He is obviously one of the profiles that we've brought in, and I think if Rangers had a bit of discipline to his game, we've been crying out for folk to shoot for 2 seasons, Mark. I see it. Even this season, we don't shoot. We don't ever shoot. And we don't. But already by Bacuna and even Lundstram still will have a shot wherever they're going. God's sake, Kamara's had a shot. So we've definitely changed that part of our game. But Bacuna's looked good, man. I mean, you need to give him... I know he passes the ball to Ken. I'm not calling that an assist, but it'll get done as an assist. So an assist and a goal.
Well, we shall certainly come to that. Keir, the one thing I did notice today, and I think I even put it out on social media, there was so many more players, not just Bacuna, but it seemed almost like the whole midfield today was shooting for distance, which is something that we haven't really seen.
It hasn't. Sometimes we try the extra pass, don't we? But when you've seen it today, Bacuna scored a crack. I mean, as soon as I had it, I was right behind it, and you seen it. It was going in. Same with Ryan Kent's shot. I mean, you're not always going to get it in target. You're not always going to score, but you might get a deflection. You might get a corner, and it's worth having a dig if space opens up. Why go for extra pass or extra whatever? Just have a dig at times because when we overplay it, teams expect that. So if you mix it up, then they don't know what to expect.
Exactly. You don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle. The equaliser, Jamie, it's a combination that I think we've seen a few times. A Tav corner with an Aribo header. Aribo's great in there.
Just came on leaps and bounds. I said that earlier. He's my player of the year so far. Just everything. He's big. He looks stronger. He's scoring headers. Tav's corner again, man. It was that. See, once we got that, you've seen the confidence growing, and we were playing well until then. But there's this wee doubt in people's head. Oh, I know we're playing well. Can we create? And can we score goals? But again, it's came for another set play, like I said last week. But who cares, man? It gets a goal, and the wheels just start turning after that. So, Big Aribo's been outstanding.
Another assist, Care, for Captain Tav as well. That's him well over 100, not well over, but over 100 assists for the club now.
That's ridiculous.
You can't speak highly of Tav. I mean, the goal that Aribo scored, he nearly got one about 2 or 3 minutes before that for the other side. And he done it for the opposite side a couple of minutes later. And you would think Ross County to learn by the first one, it was going to happen again, but they never picked him up. He made a run on defender and got it in. So obviously him and Tav linked up well. I thought they linked up well together today. And the way they switch the ball with each other and the movement was good. Hadji, I thought, was in and out of the game too much. He should be producing more because Hadji's got a bit more quality in, and he showed today. But I thought we done well.
Here, see with Hadji, I was watching him and I put in there, man, what he's special player. I sometimes think that he's a step ahead of everybody. And he's playing with reverse balls and weak balls that players at this level just aren't on the same par. The problem with Hadji is he's not got the pace or the speed to probably go to that next level, but sometimes I just think he's a step ahead of folk. There's about 4 or 5 times
no, do you know what? Just before you come back in, Care, see, just to pick up on that point, you say that he didn't have his best game today, right? But
and I don't think he did either.
There was 2 or 3 occasions where he played a fantastic pass into somebody and it wasn't read by them quick enough to take it on. He could have easily had 2 assists today, and then we're turning around and going, Hadji played well.
No, I understand, but I just thought,
Jamie says, Hadji's brain is ahead of some of the players on that park.
No, I understand that. I just thought overall, I've seen him playing a lot better, and I think he was too deep at times today as well. And I've said that to guys sitting next to me today. I say, see if Hadji played in something like Italy, you see the best of him gets a lot slower because he does lack the pace. But if he had the pace, say a Sakala, he wouldn't be at Rangers. Do you know what I mean?
But I don't think the way that he plays and the passes that he makes, Jamie, he doesn't necessarily need that pace to be able to do what he does.
No,
he does really well.
I agree with you. I agree, but I think if he wants to go to Serie A, then just send us early 20 million, he can go. And that's that sorted. But I think there's a couple of times he puts balls into Sakala, bounced off him. Even when Roof came on, looked a wee bit rusty with the balls bouncing off him. Hadji's just a step ahead of some folk. I don't think he did play amazingly today, but these are the games, I don't know, sometimes you just don't recognise what he's doing because the passage I played doesn't come off. It's like, hard lines. But he's the one creating these. All it takes is for somebody to get their first touch like that, and it's like, what a pass behind. We've said this a million times with goals we've scored. Hadji. He does it all the time. It's just because sometimes the person picking up the final ball can't collect the ball.
I think Hadji had a better game than we used to make now.
I just think Hadji's best position, I think, is behind the strikers, but in front of midfield. And I think when he's out right, he struggles because he doesn't see a lot of the ball, and a lot of his work is defensively. And I don't think that's his game because we all know he likes to create, we all know he can create, and he likes to play in that space, which a lot of times you don't play that way, but that's his best. We've seen it in Europe when he came on the other night. He came out, he was just behind the strikers in front, and then he put the ball. He can't put the ball straight on it. He makes late runs into the box, but today I thought it was a lot deeper because Aribo was a lot further forward, which I thought he might have swapped it. But I was Hadji was sitting more deeper, and I thought midfield didn't have a lot of legs in it to begin with. I thought it was Lundstrom was doing most of the running because everybody else would want to go forward. But I'm not saying Hadji's a bad player. I think Hadji on his games technically gifted to the best player, but it's just sometimes he struggles in these matches.
I see it. Well, it's good to sometimes not always agree, as they say. I don't think he did struggle. I thought he played quite well. I thought he was making decent passes, and I think there was a couple of other players on the park that weren't quite on his level. Now we have a few comments. Gallant Pioneer plus remember Hadji is playing in a league of hammer throws. Thomas, our players, don't make enough runs beyond the ball. That's why Arfield's such a big player for us. Nicola Stubborn, I wonder what political party she doesn't like. Hadji doesn't need pace. Did Souness have pace or Wilkins? Gallant Pioneer again, responding to that. Work harder, work smarter, not harder. So look, it's one of the ones. It's that Philip Sebo thing in it. You either like him or you don't like him.
Oh, listen,
you know how
on.
much. Listen, I have to get Sebo into every
on,
podcast.
Man.
You know,
Well, Sebo or David Roberts, innit?
Hey, you be careful.
Imagine even saying those same players in the same breath, man.
The same bread, is that
a laughing stock?
Sebo?
A laughing stock. Sebo was a laughing. He's chucked it, Kerr.
He's chucked it. Mention David Robertson. He left in the half.
Maybe that's the problem. We mentioned David Robertson and Martin's went away.
Don't ever slander the good name of David Robertson again.
That was quick.
I know. My daughter ran in there and I had to sort the situation out, but I done it with ease. I just threw her right out the door. Ryan Kent back, Jamie. Listen, it's one of the ones we joked for long enough, and we've all discussed Ryan Jack. That when somebody's gone, they become a bit of an enigma in your brain, and you think they're better than what they actually were. To me, this looked like Ryan Kent version fucking 6.5. He just looked phenomenal. He looked like a different player than what we had before.
I'm so glad he started and he got that. See, at half time, see if they'd taken him off, I'd have been like that, right? It's all part of the plan. But he was always going to come off after 50, 60 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. That first half performance. And I've been kind of in the back of my mind, whenever he's been talking about Ryan Kent, I've been saying, but remember, folk, this start of the season, we were all saying he hasn't really lived up to it. He's so inconsistent. But see, for him to have his first start of the day and play that well, he is going to damn it. Oh, it was unreal. We've missed it. Give Kerr his due, man. He's been saying about Ryan Kent, the directness and the way he runs at people, it creates so much space for everybody else. And it looked like it did. And it just looks like a different breed, man. Like, best player in the league, hands down, if he continues and hits some form with some real consistency.
Honestly, I was just reading some comments there. Kerr, normally when a player comes back from, how long's Kent been out? A couple of months? They take one or two games to kind of get back into the swing of things. And I must admit, there was a tiny part of me that thought, I don't know if I'm comfortable with him starting, just in case there's a wee niggle there. But wow, what a comeback.
I think the other night helped him come on the park, getting assists and done looking good in Europe. And the day he started, he just wanted the ball all the time, didn't he? He was eager to make an impression. He wanted on the ball constantly. He was trying to make things happen. And just that shot he done with it in the back of the net, it just dipped at the last second under the crossbar for where I was sitting. It looked like that. But no, he's just that. See, when he's on form running at folk, it's not just him he laughs his teammates as well, because they know he's getting beaten at people and he can get the ball in the box and they can get on the end of stuff. So we need Ryan Kent back fit. It's just another couple. Obviously, that's international break will help. Another 2 weeks fitness under his belt, and then hopefully he's back fighting fit for the Hibs game.
Can I just point out, right, Aldo, I respect you, mate, and I love everything about you, and I love you, right? However, the only thing Sebo done was score against Chelsea. I was at the game at Ibrox when Sebo scored a last-minute winner against Aberdeen.
Yep,
so please don't put in the comments your rubbish about Sebo never doing anything. And the only reason I remember that, by the way, is because it was the first game I went to with my little brother. But Sebo done that, right?
Aldo, please just don't mention Sebo again.
CGM, to be fair, Kent was good today. It's not like CGM to give out praise. First half, Kent ran the show. Looked like he was back to his best. Obviously, tired in the second half because he's not played. Cubby Cubster, great to have Kent back, looking good, and will only get better and sharper, make such a difference. Thomas, this version of Kent can make up his mind rather than just running it out for a goal kick. Michael, Kent will be the difference. I completely agree. And Foldsy, Kent gives us a dimension we just can't replace when he's missing. Even if he's half the boil, he puts in the hard yards for us. That was really difficult to read all them in such a quick space of time. His goal, Jamie, wow. Is that? I don't want to take anything away for the goal, please. I really don't want to, but we have to ask the question because we do try and be professional. Could the goalkeeper have done better?
Yeah, don't ask me that question. Ask his number one fan down there. This is Maynard Brewer's number one fan. So, Kerr, I'll let you answer that question, mate.
I said in a good game 1 week going best of the rest. He kept Ross County in the game, and I'm number one fan. I was sitting at the very back row of the Brimlone, so I don't know if he could have saved it or no. I just seen it hit the back of the net. It meant nuts.
I think he probably should have done better. But the ball moved.
But there was dip and movement on the
Dip and
ball. It was a
moving.
fantastic strike. I just have to ask the question.
And do you know what? Balogun was down, like hands up, banging the ground, waving his hands about. Like, I was thinking, I want to get out the road, big man, get up. If you're injured, just go up and run 5 years to the left. But maybe the Kim Bean there was just putting Maynard Brewer off. Give him his due, and I'm joking, Kerr, but he made a good save near the end as well with his hand.
We're going to come to that. Don't steal my talking points. We're going to come to that. Jesus, every week, man. It's honestly. So honestly, steal my talking points every week. So is that
all the time?
What's that, Kerr?
He does it all the time.
Didn't he? He's a nightmare, isn't he?
Tries to take over the show. Just call it a JD podcast.
He wants it to be all about him, didn't he? All about him. Right, so Ryan Jack on the bench, Kerr. I wasn't expecting to see him play. We'll come to the goals in the second half and that.
Martin, who were you expecting to see to play then? You weren't expecting to see Kent to play. You weren't expecting to see Ryan.
I was expecting to see Kent come off the bench, Baldy, right? I wasn't expecting to see Ryan Jack on the pitch just because surely the length of time that he was out there. But he came on, listen, no real pressure when he came on. We were far ahead. He didn't have a lot to do, but just good to see him back on the pitch.
It's good to see him back on the pitch, get 20 minutes, whatever, under his belt and take it from him. We're going to have to be careful when we can't throw him into games for the start at the moment. I don't think just because he's past injury record and no playing for you don't want him to break down anyway and be out for a longer period. So I think we should be careful with him. But once we get him back fully fit and he's ready to play, it will make a big difference for us this season. But we need him back fit. We can't just chuck him in for the sake of chucking him in.
Do you go along with that, Jamie?
Excuse me. I thought he played well when he came on. He looked eager, and Ryan Jack gets into the positions we've been saying. We kind of never pick up that second ball recently. Ryan Jack's the one that will do that for us. So I didn't think he was going to come on. I said one of my mates.
So who did you think was going to come on, Jamie?
I thought Arthur would maybe have come on to shoot it up near the end, just a wee bit of running to stretch them. But I thought Jack was maybe just going to be involved in the warm-ups and the warm-downs and all that. That he wasn't. He came on. He looked enthusiastic. What a difference it would be to get him back, guys. We're 4 points clear here, and we've got Kent and Ryan Jack coming back.
Yeah, that's frightening. That is frightening. But look, right at the start of the second half, Kerr, you always want that goal. That goal to take you a few goals clear just to get rid of the nerves. And like we were just discussing, Bacuna, fantastic strike and something that we want more of, just people shooting for outside the box.
Yeah, I mean the guy, I was talking that guy, that's next touch what we're saying. We just need that third goal because this season and 1-0 lead that Ibrox has, they've been kind to us because we always seem to concede when we don't expect it, we don't think we should. But Bacuna's goal settled everybody's nerves, especially the fans, because we needed that third goal. But it's a great strike. As soon as he hits it, I knew it was going in. Fantastic strike. And I like to see midfielders, anybody just having a shot, because don't have a shot, you don't score. You might not score. So sometimes just have a dig. It goes into the stand, fair enough. But I like to see players shooting at times because if they get a break of the ball, then it works. I can work our way. But as soon as you struck it, fantastic strike for Cunningham. I mean, I wasn't critical. I just never knew much about him. I only talk about what I heard about him. And to be fair, he's not really had a chance. But if he can play the way he did today, better defensively. Offensively, he was all right. Defensively, I thought he didn't track people at times. But if he can keep his performances up, then he could be an important player for us in the tail end of the season as well.
And it was a controlled strike, Jamie. It was a nice bit of play leading up to it. And see, just to have somebody who's got the ability to shoot like that, like Ryan Kent. Because let's be honest about Ryan Kent's finishing. It's not always the greatest. But Bacuna just looks as if he's got that ability in him to have a strike like that.
I think he had another one. I think he had another one near the end, which kind of just fizzed by. It was pretty close. Well, looked pretty close for watching it. But he's having himself in those areas, and I think that's something that we probably haven't had previously. If you've got like Kamara and Davis, if you go with Kamara, Davis and Lundstrom, none of them are really having themselves in there, although Lundstrom will give it a go. I know Kamara scored the other day, but you know what I mean. Bakuna is having himself in there, and he looks like he can do it, so it's promising.
Like a goal scoring midfielder.
Yeah.
Breaking news, folks. Breaking news. Whistleblower has just exposed real reason for Jamie wearing a hat. He's just back from Martin's barber. There we go. That's
man.
Fourth goal, Jamie. It's Captain Tav again. It's good pressure phase. Nice ball into the box and a Jakovic own goal.
Aye. That seals the deal, doesn't it? And allows us to make a few changes after that. We probably would have made the changes at 3, I think, anyway. But aye, not such another bond Tav in it. It's just people just
constant. It's constant for Tav.
It is constant. But a lot of folks say, but somebody else would have put that bond. No, they wouldn't have. Or it was a corner. Somebody else would have put that, but they don't. You know, when Tav is the one that does it, his numbers stack up over 100 assists. Over 100. I don't know. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but I'll get slaughtered. But over 100.
Say it.
Did Laudrup or Gaza give us over 100 assists? I don't think they did. So I mean, this is sick numbers. But
moving on.
Did David Roberts give on his assists?
Well, here
after we
go on games.
After we go 4-1 up, Care. It's safe to say, look, we were still in control, but we took our foot off the gas. I think we were happy just to see the game out, and then we end up conceding quite a shoddy goal, which I know that you didn't see. So I'll take it to Jamie because I forgot you never seen it.
Back up the road for this.
Jamie, Ross County's second goal again, just slack. Good finish for Jordan White, it has to be said. I don't really think McGregor can do anything about it. Just slack for us.
Right, I think it was a bit slack. It's a ball slip through the sides. Bassey's an inexperienced centre half, so that's maybe a wee thing. But I'm going to say that I think McGregor could have done better.
You think so?
And I'm also going to say I think he could have done better for the first and all.
You think so?
Aye. I think a young McGregor could potentially save those two. Anyway, I'll leave that to you with that one. But aye,
Bassey, Kerr, and this is where I will agree with you. I've never known a guy who's a man mountain to not be able to ever judge a header. There was a point in the second half, I think, where the ball came over, and I might have just imagined this, but the ball came over and he was shooting on goal and he headed the ball that way. And I'm going, this boy can't judge a header. And he's a liability at centre-back. I know it's not his position, and I know he was put there to bring Patterson on at left-back, which we're going to touch on because you know who said that could happen. But I'm not having Bassey at centre-back.
Was that not his position when he came for Leicester, right enough as a centre-back?
I don't think so, no.
Was it? No, I thought it was. Okay, probably wrong then. No, he's not a centre back. You can see that he's positionally all over the place. He can't judge anything. But when you're lacking numbers, he doesn't want to trust anybody else. It's where he's going to be. But he should do better. I didn't see the goal, but according to Jamie, he should do better. So according to some of the comments as well, he was sleeping. But we've seen it before when he plays centre back, and he's probably better at left back. To be honest with you, I guess if he makes a mistake there, maybe get somebody to cover for him. But centre back, you're struggling to make a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think we can look at him as a centre half going forward. Really, I've said it before. We probably could. He's had a couple of games in there. Just see, for me, he's good. Gave him the ball. There was a part near the end or before he moved into centre back where he must have rammed the ball for left back right into there. He slipped Sakala through. Who, by the way, I don't know if you're going to get to, but I thought looked better when it out the left hand side. So what you going to do? I don't think Sakala looked as good through the middle of the day as he would.
Well, Jamie, there was a couple of questions about Sakala, and I tried to find them, and I can't find them.
Yeah.
They were along the lines of, what did you make his performance today? I thought he played really well.
But
as a central striker, I don't know. I think Folgy put it on there earlier on, and I agreed with it. I don't think as a central striker, if we play this way, where the ball is going to go up to him, the ball's no sticking to Sakala yet. I think it might through time, because that's maybe just, you can work on that, your first touch. That's not something that you can't really change. You can work on that. But I thought Sakala looks better coming in from the left-hand side. And I thought in the last few minutes, he looked even more dangerous when he went out to that left-hand side with him and Bassey. Bassey slapped him in a couple of times. But with Ryan Kent back fit, that's where he's going to be playing. So Sakala will probably need to either play at the other hand side or in through the middle. But then Morelos doesn't play, doesn't come on the bench. So doesn't
we'll all come on to Morelos. Look, we're 45. Match reactions are supposed to be short and sharp and to the point, half an hour in. We're now into 45 minutes. I blame Jamie because he just talks a lot of shite.
So because nobody's in his house talks to him.
I know, that's what it is. The only person who's got to talk to is that mannequin.
That's not good. You doing it?
And it still talks back to him. Kerry, your thoughts on Sakala? And actually, that's a good point. With Kent and Wright and Roof and Alfie, I still don't think Sakala's going to struggle to get in this team. I think Gerrard likes him. I thought he was really good today, but I do agree with Jamie. He's no a through-the-middle striker. He's far, far more productive out wide.
I think he can play through there. I think he can play anywhere in the front three, because I think he's quick enough, his movement's good enough, and I think the way we play, we don't have people playing in set positions constantly. I think they'll interchange, so if he can play up front with Kent, with himself and with another one, they'll interchange anyway, so we can move it different. They can move different positions throughout the game and swap and stuff like that. So it's no bother. But I thought he played really well. He's done a lot of running, done a lot of good running, done a lot of running to find space. He chased things down. He was trying to create. A couple of times he was unlucky. A couple of times he was in. He just that wee extra touch. He was maybe taking the touch wasn't there. But I thought he played quite well. And I thought he just needs games. He needs to play more, because the more he plays with his teammates, the more he gets to know them. And I think that's what he needs, because I like him, I have to say.
Aye. And Curry Muncher, I can't put that comment up on screen, but the answer is yes. Jamie, you brought it up. Alfredo Morelos on the bench, didn't get on. In fact, there's Thomas with a comment. Morelos is not good to Rangers right now. Far too heavy. I don't agree with that, and it isn't working hard enough. Sakala and Roof ahead of him for me. I agree with Sakala and Roof being ahead of him right now. And I think Gerrard made that very, very clear in one of his post matches, where he said he's going to have to seriously look at the team. And it was no surprise to me that he didn't get any minutes in the park today either.
It's no surprise to me. What I would say is, if Morelos is firing on all cylinders, he's our best striker, hands down. Easily our best striker. I'm not having Roof at this moment in time. I watched him a wee bit closer today when he came on. He's trying too hard. He's getting the ball. He's getting all anxious, and he's trying too hard because he wants a cut of goals, or he wants a run in the team. So that will need to come for him. But he's another one who I don't think his place is nailed in now that Kent's back fit. But Morelos, well, there you go, CGM. Look where his goals have gone from. Is that because his head's not in it, or is it because we're asking him to play a different way? I think we're playing totally different. See, when he scored 30 goals, 29 goals, we weren't asking him to sit in deep and spray the ball. We are. That's a tactical thing. But if he's on fire, I don't know, man. Like, I would hate it. I don't know. Like, he's still a number one striker for me, but does he need a kick up the arse? And that's what he's getting, I think.
Well, Kerr Michaels put it in. I think it's significant he is not in the Colombian squad. Do you go along with that?
Maybe. I don't know. They might have been watching him as well and think he's not playing up to the required standard, and that's how he's not in the squad. But I think Alfie just has to take his game back to what he's good at, his basics, and maybe a couple of weeks rest will do him good and get some in some training with him and get him back, because I do agree with you, when he's playing at his best, he's a number one striker. Even when he's playing 75%, having him on the park, he still brings others' attention to him and lets others create space. So I like Morelos. I'm not going to go against him, and I just think sometimes we probably need him more than we don't.
Nathan Patterson, Kerr, comes on the park. We've all discussed that we think he needs game time, not to panic, because Gerrard's obviously got a plan. I heard that in the preview, which was excellent. Put him at left back, though. I don't know how much of the plan that's part of.
I don't see a wrong with that myself. Long term, maybe for half an hour. No, because when you're taught in the academy role, when you're young playing and you play in the academy, you're taught to play in positions. If you're left-footed, just some games you'll play the right side of the park, just to it's not to practice with your right foot, but just in case you have to put in the situation. So Nathan will have played games right back or left back, the left back, sorry, with the academy team and even training games and stuff. So it's not going to be new to him. And for half an hour there, it's fine. It gives him minutes, gives him into the team. And it's also another way if ever it happens to Bassey, if Borner's not clicking, then you can maybe throw him in there. I don't know, but I don't think Jadder stuck him if he didn't think he could do the job. And I think Nathan's good enough to do the job anyway.
What did you make Jamie Patterson at left back? And by the way, if you want to maybe let the people know that somebody did mention that as a possibility.
Nah, I'm not going to say you. I thought I mentioned it as well, but anyway, we'll move on for that. I think we'll see Patterson play left back if Bassey's form dips a wee bit. I think it's primed and ready. And a lot of these young boys nowadays, like Kerr's saying, you play left back, but we're so attacking in that position. He'll love that, cutting inside on his right foot and shooting. He will love that. So I think it's just a matter of time before we see him playing left back a couple of games, I think, and I'm not bothered about that at all.
Nicola, I'm all for debating, I'm all for talking about everything. People fail to see Patterson's deficiencies.
He's a young boy. He's only 20. He's going to have deficiencies, I think.
Doesn't matter what age you've got deficiencies as a football player. Doesn't matter what level you play at.
He's not the complete package at all yet, and that's why he's not a first team regular.
Yeah, I agree. I thought I'd bring that up because you don't.
I don't think he's he's not played a lot of football, so he's not going to be ready. But he got outpaced by Harrison Clark down that right hand side, and Harrison Clark was blown out his backside at the time. So
he actually get back. It was a corner.
No, I don't understand that, but on a foot race, that he was no catching that boy. So he has, and that's not a deficiency. It's just to say that he's not he's not Cafu. We've got he's a young boy learning his trade still.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, 4-2, comfortable, very comfortable. I was quite happy with the way that we played for the majority of the game, Kerr. How are you feeling now about the title race in general and about the way that Rangers are playing? And I said that far too posh.
You did, Jess. I think we've been playing better in the last few weeks than we have been, even though we've been getting the victories. But I think I've been cut out the others at the back. Because that's like us last couple of games, just scored a few goals, which is good to see. With Kent coming back, Jack coming back, and getting everybody back fitness and getting Morelos back into me, he should be able to play. I don't see as any having. There will be issues along the way because it's football, but if he can play the way we know we can play, I think we still get the best chance to win the league. Like we've all said, it's only Rangers that can beat Rangers at the end of the day. Celtic have come on to a battle for them, which was always going to happen after last season, but
it's always going to happen when you spend 28 million.
But we're still if our squad can hit the heights it should be hitting, we should win the league. But we'll take it game at a time. But I think the next important game, if we can get to the cup final, that'll be a massive boost for the players. It will
Can I just say for everybody watching, thank you. If you could please hit that like button, it would be much, much appreciated. It does really help share the podcast. And of course, subscribe. We've just not long past 3,000. Of course, now we're targeting 4,000. We're targeting to go as high as we possibly can. You can also help support the podcast. We are on Patreon. Link is in the description. For as little as £2 a month, you can get access to, I think it's about 5 or 6, maybe even 7 shows. So there's plenty of extra content there for you. We've got the best of the rest done by Kerr. Who else is on that, Kerr? Jamie Curry.
Jamie Curry, can't remember who else.
The only one that talks actual sense and knows that player's me. So I'm on
and JD Mannequin's on it.
I lie my couch doing that, Kerr, don't I?
Aye.
You can get we've got the Souness Revolution, or the guys are going through Graham Souness's time at Ibrox. Amazing. We've got the preview shows, we've got the EPL show, we've got loads and loads of content. So if you fancy helping to support the podcast, links in the description, please do go and help. And of course, hit that like button and that subscribe button. So Jamie, how are you feeling then going into this international break about Rangers?
I think our displays have progressively been going up the way, and it's making us all feel a wee bit better. We're scoring goals. I know we're leaking a few goals, but we're title challengers. Well, there's no way our defence is worse than theirs. I don't care how many goals we've conceded, whatever, when you just see that. So it's looking good. I'm feeling a lot better about it. We are 4 points clear coming the international break, and we're getting players coming back. It's not even that. Players, we've got Jack and Kent back, right? Take another week or two to get them sorted and they'll start playing games, playing 90 minutes, whatever, destroying teams. You've still got Morelos, who's now lost his place. So what's that going to do to him? He's an absolute monster, a guy. If that turns him back into the Morelos of 2 years ago when he's stamping folk and getting red carded, brilliant. I want him to be angry, and I want him to come on and showing people what he can do. If he can come back like that, brilliant. And then you've still got other guys like who haven't hit the heights of the previous seasons, and you've got Helander still to come back as well. So it's looking good. We don't want any more injuries, Martin. Let's get to Christmas. 3 stages at a time. Let's look for Christmas time now. There's an international break near the end of January. That's your next step. Get to there. Are we still 4 points clear by that point? Are we 7 clear by that point? Just one game at a time.
Yeah, completely agree. Right, that'll do us, gents. 55 minutes. We'll wait until it gets to 56. Jamie Kerr, thank you very much.
How about that?
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody in the comments, and I'm going to wait until it gets to 56 minutes. So I will once again just ask you to please like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Rangers Rabble. Follow us on Instagram, Rangers_Rabble. We no longer have Facebook, and we no longer. I'm not 100% sure yet what's happening with the website. So we will have. We've got articles. Did I mention the articles? I don't think I did. If you head over to Patreon, the fantastic Stu has a brilliant article. A man who lives down south, and it's about being an exile bear and how he came to support the famous Glasgow Rangers. So thank you, everybody. We will be back on Tuesday, even though it's an international break, because that's just how dedicated we are. So until then, stay safe, and we shall speak to you very, very soon.